Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to learn how to use the modify panel over here in the AutoCAD ribbon. And the first command we are going to learn is the move tool. So I'm going to select this line and I want to move it horizontally. So I'm going to press M being the shortcut for move, and I'm going to press enter. Or alternatively, I can press escape and come over here and click on the move tool and select the object, and I can press enter, and now the object has been selected. So I'll use a base point. As you can see near my cursor, it says specify base point. So I'm just going to click at any point and I'm going to move it, and I can see that I am not constrained by the X or Y axis, and I can move this line freely. However, I would like to press F8 and activate the auto mode so that I am constrained in this horizontal axis. And I'm just going to move the line away, and I'm going to click at a different point and the line has moved. I'm going to just try that again. I'm going to select this line. I'm going to press M for move, enter. I'm going to select on the base point, and then I'm going to move it back to where it was. I'm going to click again and it has moved. So this is basically how you will use the move command. Let's try it one more time, and this time I'll select all of the geometry in my screen. I'm going to press M, enter. I'm going to say I want to select at a point in the geometry, and currently I cannot select any point. So I'm going to go to the snaps and I'm going to enable endpoint, and I'm going to come back, and you can see I can snap to individual endpoints in my geometry. I'm going to click that, I'm going to move it, I'm going to click again, and it has moved. Next we are going to learn how to make copies. Let's go over to the modify panel and select copy, and AutoCAD is asking us to select the objects that we want to copy. If you notice, it is going to give us prompts in the command box down here below. It says select objects. So I'm going to come to the model space and I'm going to select this circle, and I'm going to select this line, and I'm going to select this line, and I'm going to press enter, and it's going to ask for a base point. So I'm going to use the center of the circle, but right now I cannot snap towards it. So I'll go to O snaps, and I'm going to enable center subgeometry. I'm going to come back to the model space, and now you can see I can snap to the center of the circle. I'm going to click there and I'm going to move it, and this time I want to move it by a certain distance, as in I want to copy the object by a certain distance from its parent object. So I'm going to press 500. I'm going to type 500. I'm going to press enter, and now it has copied that object by 500 units to the right. I can use the same feature even in the move command. That is, I'm going to select this object and I'm going to move it by 500 units to the right. So I'm going to press M, enter, select a base point, and instead of selecting the second point, I can just press 500 and enter, and it has moved the object. And next we are going to learn how to use the stretch tool. So for that, I'm going to press S, and you can see in the drop down, stretch is the first option that comes. So I'm going to press enter, and now I'm going to select the objects. I'm going to press enter. I'm going to select the base point, which is this point, and now you see, so now we're going to learn how to use the stretch tool. For that, I'm going to come over here and select this in the modify panel, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and drag and select only this point of the line, but I'm going to do it moving to the left. Select this point of the line and I'm going to press enter again, and I'm going to give a base point, and as you can see it is stretching only that point in the line. Like that. Now that is useful in stretching just a single point in a line. Now what if I want to stretch a geometry which is made up of lines and circles? So let's look at this example. I'm going to press S, enter, which is the shortcut for stretch, and say I only want to stretch these lines out of all of this. So I'm going to click and drag towards the left and create this green region, and I'm going to make the 2 points in those 2 lines are selected, and then I'm going to press enter, and now I'm going to move those points, and as you can see the line is stretched. Let's try it again. S, enter, select the lines, press enter, it is stretched again. So what happens if you do it the other way? Let's try it. S, enter, and now I'm just selecting the objects and not actually focusing on the points. I'm going to press enter now. I'm going to select the base point, and as you can see it is stretching the object entirely and not only the point. So it's almost the same as using the move command. I'm going to select a different point and press, and now it has moved the 2 lines. So this is how you can use the stretch command. Next we are going to learn how to rotate. So come over here to the modify panel and select the rotate tool, and let's rotate this line. So AutoCAD is going to ask me to select the object, and I have done that. Now I'm going to press enter. It's going to ask for a base point, so I want to rotate it around this point. So I'm going to click here, and as you can see it is rotating the line, but it is rotating at intervals of 90 because my auto mode is enabled. So I'm going to disable that. I'm going to press F8, or I can come here to the status bar and disable this auto mode, and now you can see I can freely rotate it around that point at any angle. If I want, I can specify the angle, so I'm going to say 60, and I'm going to press enter, and it has rotated it by 60. I'm going to press Ctrl Z and just go back 1 step and show how to do it if I want to rotate it at the other end. So I'm going to press RO for the rotate option, enter, select the object, enter, select the base point, which is this, and now once again the auto mode is enabled because we had pressed Ctrl Z. I'm going to disable it by pressing F8, and now when I typed 60 degrees it rotated it towards this side. What if I want to rotate it towards the other side? Then I'm going to press -60 and press enter, and it has rotated 60 degrees to the other side. Let's try this again, but this time let's use the center of the line. Actually, let's just go ahead and select the entire geometry, press RO, enter. Let's select a base point that we want to rotate it. I'm going to select this point, and now you see we can rotate the entire geometry in whichever way we want. So I can specify the rotation angle if I want, or alternatively I can just trace my cursor all around, and once I'm happy with it I'm just going to click there, and it has rotated my entire geometry. Next, we are going to learn a useful tool called mirror. As you can see, this is the tool that we can select. Now I'm going to select my entire geometry, and I'm going to use a blue region by hovering, dragging and clicking my mouse to the right and selecting all of the geometry. I'm going to press enter, and it's going to ask me to trace a mirror line so that it can mirror my geometry along. I'm going to select this point, and if you can see, it's asking me to select the second point, and I select here. And an important feature of this mirror tool is that it will ask you whether it has to erase the source objects, and I don't want that, so I'll say no. So if you can see, it has created a mirror image of this geometry towards the other side of the mirror line that I had drawn. Let's try this one more time. I'm going to select the geometry again. I'm going to press MI, is the shortcut for mirror, press enter. And now I'm going to select a point here, and I'm going to select a point here. And this time I want to erase the source objects. Let's see how it looks. I'm going to press yes, and it has deleted the source object, and it has just mirrored and created a new one. Let's try it one more time. I'm going to, this time actually let's only select a few objects out of this geometry. So I'm just going to select this. I'm going to press mirror, and this time I'm going to enable my auto mode. So I'm going to press F8 on my keyboard, and now I'm going to mirror it horizontally. So I'm going to select this point here, and because my auto mode is enabled, it easily snaps, and I can just click at any other point, and it is asking me whether I should erase the source objects. I'll say no, and I'll press enter, and it has mirrored it. So sometimes, depending on your needs, it's good to have the auto mode enabled, and sometimes in certain situations it's better to have it disabled. So that depends on your preferences, and this is something you should make a note of. Now let's learn how to scale our geometry. So you can find scale here in the modify tab, and if you want the keyboard shortcut for it, it's SC. I'm going to press enter. Now I'm going to select my entire geometry, and I'm going to press enter. Next, it's asking for a base point from which it will scale my drawing. So I'm going to select this point over here, and as you can see, I can sort of move my cursor and it will accordingly size my drawing up. So I can click on any arbitrary point, say here, and it has scaled my drawing. Now instead of that, if I know definitively how I want to size my drawing up, I can do the same thing, SC, enter. I'll specify the same base point and say I want it to be twice the size. So I'll just press 2 as the scale factor that you can enter, and press enter, and it has scaled up the drawing by 2. I can try it again, select the objects, SC, enter, give the base point, and I want to half its size, so I'm going to press 0.5, enter, and it has accordingly scaled my geometry. Let's try it one more time, SC, enter, select the base point, and I want it 5 times this, so I'm going to press 5 as the scale factor and press enter, and it has scaled up my drawing. Next, we are going to learn how to trim. So trimming is basically when you want to remove the intermediate lines and curves between two intersections. So now let's go over here to the trim command, select it, and it's going to ask us to select the objects. And in this case, it will always ask for the object that is doing the cutting first. Or think of it as holding the knife when you're cutting a cake. So it's going to ask you to select the knife first. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to select this rectangle as the cutting object. I'm going to select it, I'm going to press enter, and next it's going to ask for another object that is going to be, in this scenario, the cake that is being cut. So I'll select this point and it will cut that object. I can do the same here and cut that object, and thus I can do it multiple times. So AutoCAD will always ask you for the cutting object first and the object to be cut next. We can try the same thing again. So I'm going to press TR as the shortcut, press enter. I'm going to select this and this line as the knife or the cutting object. I'm going to press enter, and next I'm going to cut this object like that. I'm going to press escape to come out of the command. There's another way to carry out the same operation is by going into kind of like a cutting spree. What I mean by that is you can just keep on cutting intersections without having to select any object in particular. So to do that, you press TR, enter, and you press enter again. This allows you to just go ahead and cut all segments that are between two intersections. So like that, like that. I'll show you other examples like this, and even like this. As you can see, even though this was a polyline, because it came between two intersection points or nodes, it is considered an individual segment, so I'm able to cut it. Similarly, I can also cut it this way. I'm going to press escape. Next, because we have learned trim, let's also learn how to extend. In this example, I have this line over here and I have this line which is headed in that same direction and is probably going to touch it if it is extended. So I'm going to press EX, which is the shortcut for extend, press enter. It's going to ask me to select an object, and in this scenario the object that it's going to ask me to select is going to be the object that my line is going to touch first. So I'm going to select here, I'm going to press enter, and now I'm going to select the object that is to be extended. So I'm going to select this next line, and as you can see, it has extended the second object to the first object that I had selected. Let's try it again this time. EX, enter. I'm going to select this circle, enter, and now the object that I want to extend, like that. I can click it again if I want to continue the extension, and click it one more time. But this time it won't be able to extend because my original extension object was this circle and I had not selected this line. So I have to escape and do the operation again. EX, enter, select this line, press enter, and then extend this line again. Next, we are going to learn how to fillet. To fillet, all we have to do is select two lines so that they can meet at a single point. So I will go here and select the fillet tool, or I'll press escape and press F as the shortcut, press enter, and I'm just going to select the first object and select the next object, and as you can see, it has trimmed both of the lines to a single point. Now the reason why they call it a fillet is because you can chamfer this edge with a radius. So I'm going to press F, enter, and it's asking me to select the first object, or alternatively I can press the down arrow and I can select radius, and it's asking me to specify a radius, so I'm just going to say 50 and press enter and select both of the lines, and as you can see it has rounded that edge. I can do the same thing. This time I'm going to press F, enter, and now instead of pressing the down arrow key, as you can see in the command box here, there are some listed options for us, and the radius is highlighted with the R. So I'm just going to press R, enter, and I can press 50 once again and press enter and select two lines, and it will fillet those two lines with a radius of 50 units. This is how we can use our basic modifier tools in our workspace. If you have any questions, please list them down in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.